Stephen Lynn, your host with White Labs, a marketing agency. Today's guest is John. John, feel free to introduce yourself and let our viewers know a little bit more about your background.
Good morning, Stephen. My name is John Kerbow. I'm the owner and founder of Southwestern Services Janitorial Company. We're established, well, we're founded, we're based out of the Midland, Odessa area, West Texas. We're about 5 hours west of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And we service this whole entire area, and we also service the DFW area as well. I started this company in August of 93. So we're into our 31st year now. And it's been
Awesome.
quite a journey, quite an
How did you
adventure.
get into the industry?
It's a long story, but I'll just make it brief. I was young, I was unemployed. I had a sister who ran a company here in the Midland area. And I could not find a job. I was living in El Paso. So I was offered a job in Nebraska, and instead of taking that job, she offered me one here in Midland in the janitorial business. I'd been in education and other things all my life. And that's basically how I stumbled into it. I got into management, and a couple of a circumstance, I was forced to make a decision. I was working for a company. I had just bought my wife a new car. I had just bought my home. I'm the one that provided. And I remember it was July 1st of 93 when I signed on my house, and the company I worked for, the gentleman,
Wow.
he fires me 5 days later. So I remember coming home. I had a new mortgage, car payment bills like anybody else. And I walk up to the front door, and I'm thinking, I had already come across a couple of small little contracts, and I thought I have two choices. Either I go back and, get a 9 to 5, do like most people do, or I bite the bullet. Now, I had tried other small businesses in the past, and just something always told me just to go for it, because I thought, wherever I go work, somebody founded that, somebody started that. I want to be that person. And what's the difference between them and me? Because basically, it's 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration, or backward. Yeah, well, yeah. So, so I started it, and it was a struggle in the beginning, but 30 years later, I've developed a brand. I'm known, word of mouth, etc. So we're fairly established now here in the West Texas area and
Awesome.
in the Dallas-Fort
What a
Worth
journey.
Metroplex.
What
It has been.
who
It
is
has
who
been.
is your
Believe me, my
ideal
friend.
target
It has
audience?
been. The majority of our work is office cleaning, whether it be any kind of office, accounting, oil, whatever. Um, we do commercial, institutional, educational, medical. We do a lot of post-construction cleanups. We've done entire hospitals. But our majority it
Sure.
would be just your regular office. Yes, we also do floor maintenance as far as stripping, waxing, buffing, maintenance, carpet cleaning. Pretty much a full gamut of
Awesome.
the
So
janitorial industry.
what makes you different or better than your competitors?
I know my biggest difference is the way I do business. When I started my business, I started, a handshake means everything to me. And I do business the old fashioned way. And when you call me, I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, this phone is clipped onto my pajamas. Okay. You will get me. And if there's an issue, it will be taken care of. And you deal with me personally. I don't pass it on to somebody else. I will deal with it, make sure it's taken care of. I have an excellent relationship with my customers, thank goodness. And I have their full trust. And I think that that has been a huge part of my success is how I treat my customers. They're not just a number. They're not just, press three and leave a message and I'll contact you when I get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're getting taken care of right
Awesome.
now.
What is your most popular service?
It's going to be the
Okay.
office cleaning. That's going to be the most popular. But we do like for example during the COVID we were doing a lot of the disinfectant fogging, but that's kind of fallen to the wayside now. So janitorial would be the biggest one, followed probably floor maintenance, and then post construction,
Awesome. So being an
cleanups.
entrepreneur and doing this for so many years, what are some of the biggest challenges that you face and
Uh,
how'd you overcome them?
there's the challenge is to keep the ball rolling. No customer is eternal, although I am blessed. I'm blessed in many ways. God's been very good to me. I do have
Good.
customers that I've had over 20 years. I've got employees that I've had for over 20 years. And you don't get those things. Something's going right. But the challenge is to maintain everything afloat. Although we do have a reputation and we still have, to search, for new business like any other company or any other business, and keep going and to maintain the quality
Of course.
that I demand, yeah,
Awesome.
so
What
that would
is
probably
your
be it. Hmm.
future plan for yourself and the brand and the business?
Well, maybe play golf for the rest of my life.
Hey, that's my plan too. I'm in South
um,
Florida.
Oh, hey, well, let's go. I've played down in Florida, and although I'm terrible at it, I sure do enjoy smacking that ball. Um, but anyway, future plans. I still feel well. I'm going to keep going for several years. Keep growing the business. I'll eventually slow down, but for now,
Awesome.
just
How,
keep
how how
going.
big
Just
is your
keep
team?
chugging along. Hmm.
Awesome. Okay, great.
I've got 25 employees.
What,
Yeah, yeah. So, and that's another. Let me tell you something. Something that's really important. As a business owner, and other business owners will relate to this, I hope, is our staff. I do not refer to them as an employee, and I do not like for them. They'll call me
mhm.
boss or whatever. No, no, we're all coworkers. We're equals. We each have different roles, but you have to treat your associates, okay, with respect and fairly, and and that has also been a big success. And I don't have a turnover. I do not have employee turnover. I pay them very well, and they're all well trained. They know what to do, and so that's a huge part in the success. When you have turnover, your
Mhm.
quality obviously drops. You know, your customer
Of course.
turnover is a big problem also. So you have to really consider your associates, your coworkers, and um, how they feel working with you,
Awesome.
and that's
Great
very
advice.
important.
What are
Hmm.
what are some
Hmm.
successful things that you've done to promote the business, like marketing wise, just anything?
I, I that's another thing that's really changed so much. When I started the business, I started at
Hmm.
cold calling, door to door, knocking. And I remember one of my first sales calls. I'm at this oil company in Odessa, and I walk in and do my spiel to the receptionist, the gatekeeper, and she says, "Sure, the gentleman you have to speak to is right through that door." So I go to the door and I walk into a boardroom with a huge table full of executives, and I froze. And I asked the gentleman, he was directly in front of me at the end of the table, and I'm new to this. I had not done. I've done sales before, but not in this industry. And I remember I sat there and I sweat, I stuttered, I mumbled. I literally made no sense at all. Okay, at all. And and I left and when I was getting back to my car, I was just kicking myself. But that's how you start. And then I developed my sales technique, and like I said, it was door to door. But that's changed so much now with social media and digital marketing, etc. That I'll go do a sales call, and I'll ask to speak to whomever it is I need to speak to, and I always get the same answer. Well, our headquarters are based in Omaha, Nebraska, or down in Dallas, and I'm 300 miles away. So that's really made it difficult. So the sale has to be a lot of phone calls, things like that. But I go back to, I like things the old fashioned way. I like to look at you in the eyes. I like to shake your hand and I like to talk to you. And so that in itself has probably been the biggest change or challenge
Great.
is
Awesome.
pursuing new business.
What is one piece of advice you could give someone looking to start a small business?
Oh gosh. Being an entrepreneur, when I speak to people, new people, and I get this a lot. They always tell me about their dreams. I want a business. And first of all, be realistic of what you want to do. Okay, don't say I want to build rockets and fly to the moon tomorrow. All right, and follow through. It's frightening. It's terrifying because a business we don't get a paycheck every week or 2 weeks or a monthly like anybody else, working for somebody else. We have to produce our own income. And so you have to be a risk taker. And if you don't take that risk, you're never going to know if you're going to make it or not. But if you have a good plan and you work hard at it, hopefully it'll happen for you. And not all businesses will survive. They will not.
Yeah.
But you won't know until you try. And this is not my first. I tried other things, when I was younger, and then I did this one, and thank God, it worked. But you have to be possibly a little bit on the crazy side, to be an entrepreneur. But take the risk, step out there into the unknown. It might be the best choice you ever
100%,
make
John.
in your
That's
life.
great advice. Well, I appreciate you coming on
Yeah.
the White Pod. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you'd want our listeners to know?
No, I think we've covered pretty much,
Yeah.
a lot of it, unless you have any other questions. But no, it's
And how can
it's
our
a great
listeners
ride.
find you? It's
But
swsjanitorial.com. And you service Dallas, Fort Worth,
exactly,
Midland, Odessa
or
areas,
yes,
correct? Okay, awesome.
absolutely yes. And or they can call me at 432-889-0408. And like I said, you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, I will answer the phone. Okay, and
Well, John, I really
yeah,
appreciate your time today, and
that's
thank you so much for coming on.